Hi, I'm Kate.
And I'm Bailey.
And these are our book boyfriends. Today, we are covering Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren.
Yes.
I had a hard time getting into this book, but once I actually started getting into it, I really, really enjoyed it. And Bailey and I have not said anything about it. And she's had it read for weeks, and I literally just finished it yesterday. So I am very excited for...
Because we were supposed to... I might be wrong. We were supposed to film before this.
Yeah,
like
we were supposed...
a few weeks ago.
Yeah, like 3 weeks ago. We were supposed to, and we had to rebook it for... I can't even remember.
God knows why.
But this was the first weekend that came up that we were available.
Yeah.
And
so I'd had it read for that previous time. Mm-hmm. And so I've been waiting. And so I've been like, are you done yet?
Are you done yet?
Are you done yet?
I know.
Are
She's
you done
like,
yet?
how
Are
you
you
doing?
done yet? Are you done yet?
What's the update? How are you doing? And I'm like,
I'm
it'll get
dying
done.
to talk about it.
Listen, it'll get done. That's what matters.
All right. So I got a little summary. It's not as extensive as previous ones, but it's something. This story is about Macy, who just started a pediatric residency and got recently engaged. Out at lunch one day, she runs into Elliot, who she hasn't spoken to in 11 years, but we are not told why. They met when she was 13 years old at like a cabin that her dad bought after her mom died. So her mom was 11, and her father bought this little weekend getaway cabin for them as like an escape from their life. Mm-hmm. Elliot is the boy who lives next door in the cabin. The two bond over reading at first, and then they quickly become best friends over the years. They start dating as they become teens. They have a falling out, and Macy cuts off all contact with him. And then in the present day, they are trying to navigate the feelings that resurface despite them both being in relationships.
Yeah. This book was so freaking similar to Every Summer After.
Painfully
Similar to Every Summer After. And it's almost made it to where I was like, man, like if I had read this book first, would I have liked it
100%
more?
That's exactly what I thought. Because, so I looked up some things.
Okay.
The Summer I Turned Pretty, published in 2017.
Okay.
Love and Other Words, published in 2018.
Okay.
And Every Summer After, published in 2022. So your favorite book is actually The Copycat. That's right. I wanted to see your face on camera when I told you that.
Listen, because The Summer I Turned
I've been
Pretty...
holding that little piece of nugget information in.
The Summer I Turned Pretty and Every Summer After are basically like the same people in different universes. Like it's like the same. Yeah. Literally. They're just a little bit older and the content is a little bit steamier. But this was like very similar and then also flipped. But not at the same time.
Correct.
It was... Okay, so... Examining the boyfriend, Elliot.
Correct.
Loved him.
Yes.
Loved him. Mm-hmm. Like, I was even reading in front of Aaron and my roommate, Brody, and I was reading in front of my man. And I was like, I put the book down and I was like, I love this man. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah. I love this man. He is perfect.
Yeah, he's great.
I loved him. He was so emotionally intelligent.
He was.
Like Sam was.
Okay.
Annoyingly.
I disagree a lot on that one.
Really? Sam was extremely emotionally intelligent.
Okay.
He was.
What the fuck are you talking about? I think you're blinded by your love by Sam.
Maybe. But Elliot...
Did you forget when he emailed his girlfriend and said...
Okay, but listen. He did the same thing. Elliot did the same thing. He was like, we can't, like, do this. And she was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, we can't talk, like, every 10 minutes of the day because it's going to make the, the distance so much harder. Sam said the same shit.
Okay.
They're the same. They're the same. It is a little different, but they're the same.
Yeah, it was different. So I kind of like made a somewhat small list of all the things that I found very similar to Every Summer After.
I'm so glad. Oh my gosh. Yes.
I mean, I couldn't remember everything.
Same wavelength.
But I wrote some down. So a doctor.
Yep.
So in this one, it was flipped though.
Yeah.
So in Love and Other Words, Macy's the doctor, and in Every Summer After, Sam's the doctor. There's a writer. The other one in the couple is a writer. Yes. So in Love and Other Words, the boy is writing a book, And Every Summer After, when she grows up, she was a writer the
Yeah.
whole time, but she's like a writer for like a magazine or something.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. Also, by the way, if you haven't read this book, you probably should before you continue this episode. Thank you
Oh,
very
yeah,
much.
we've already spoiled all of it.
We've already spoiled a bunch of it. You should know by now this podcast is full of spoilers.
A mom dying of breast cancer. So in this one, it's the girl, and the other one, it was the boy. So kind of like what you said, it's so similar, but it's flipped. Like everything's somewhat flipped.
Yeah, but it's like the same plot. It's like
A vacation home, the time jumping back and forth, the mystery of what's happening, and then what happened in the past is the same.
Yeah.
This one I thought was funny. The male main character breaks up with his girlfriend immediately after running into the female
I
main
noticed that
character.
too. I was like, are we serious? Like this is a little too much.
Yes, but with a bit of information
I
of
know.
Every Summer After was the one written after. So this one was the original, quote unquote, because of,
Yeah.
I dare say, The Summer I Turned Pretty is
Yeah,
the
and they have
fucking G.
So the whole
But The Summer I Turned Pretty does not go back and forth in time.
No. I mean, it sometimes we'll have like memories of like when they were kids, but you're right. It's not like
They're not grown up at all in Summer I Turned Pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one, Love in Other Words, their like thing is they share their favorite words because they're both avid readers. So they share their favorite words. And in Every Summer After, it was 3 updates.
Correct.
Is what they did. It was like every time they saw each other, what's your favorite word? Or
Yeah.
every time they saw each other, 3 updates. So like they had the same
something.
rituals. Like it was annoying because I wasn't
was.
able to like
Enjoy it.
take it for what it was because I just saw the similarities so much. So that was really difficult for me. Was like
Me too.
separating it because this.
So people
We'll wait
who,
till the end for my rating.
people who've loved this book
Yeah,
like hate Every Summer After for that reason that you're saying you
That
couldn't
makes
get into
sense.
this because they're like, you literally
the
just
same.
copied it,
yeah.
which, I mean, they're not fucking wrong.
I know, and I try to do the justification in my head, like how difficult would it be to come up with an entirely new plot line? You know, like there's so many stories out there, there's so many movies out there, songs, whatever.
Yeah.
Like thinking of something completely and utterly original that
impossible,
isn't
I dare
fantasy,
say.
you know,
That's
is
still,
like
that's still
even
hard
still
to be
you're
original.
using a magic system that someone else created and you're just like tweaking it a little bit. So I mean I try to justify it by that, like I couldn't come up with an entire
sure.
original, you know, like,
and that's impossible.
and that's impossible, but this one was uncanny.
Yeah. The doctor, the writer, the mother could have died of fucking anything.
Mother
for
could have
the
died of
love
anything.
of God.
Yeah.
Because in this one, which is slightly different than Every Summer After. So in Every Summer After, Sam's dad died of a heart attack. He became a cardiologist. Cool. This one, her mother died of breast cancer. She became a child's doctor, a pediatric ICU doctor. Why? There was absolutely 0% of a reason for you to become a doctor in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
She doesn't even talk about anything medical as a child. They talk about books, period.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and then
like
it's all
with
of a sudden
Sam, it
med
made a
school.
lot more sense because he was studying when he was a kid. He was,
Yeah.
So like with this one, which once again, granted, this one was written first, but it was stupid to me that she was a doctor because there was nothing leading up to it, no rhyme or
Yeah,
reason.
it was just a fact of the book. Yeah.
And there was absolutely no bearing on any part of the book.
No depth.
Other than that is how she met her current fiance in the present day.
Yeah.
I don't exactly remember how, but they did meet in May, which is usually when residencies start in July.
Yeah, I think
So
she
it
said
was at,
something
like, a
like
mixer.
a mixer for yeah.
The people coming in. So
Yeah,
she
yeah.
met this man in May. I would like to point out because I was like, what the fuck? This book, The Present Day, takes place in October. She met her current fiance in May, and it is October.
And they're engaged.
Engaged to be married, and he has a child. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, odd.
all of it.
But that was a large part of the book. Like, So, what were your? Obviously we've been talking, but
Overall,
I don't know.
If I think I was able to separate it, it was really good. I mean,
Yeah.
in the prologue, I was like, wait a second. Like, I really like it already. But that was like one of those, it wasn't a first line or last line, but there was a line in here. It was the last line, I think, of the prologue.
Okay.
And it was, nor could Dad have known the whole world would end up next door, held in the palm of a skinny nerd named Elliot Lewis Petropolis.
Yeah.
That line.
I wrote that down too, actually.
I was like, oh shit, am I gonna love this book.
Held in the palm of a skinny nerd.
Yeah.
I love that.
Holy shit, am I gonna love this book.
Yeah.
You know, like.
I also wrote that line down. It was beautiful.
It was so good. And then the way they met, I thought was also really cute.
Yeah, it was.
But so he like went to this vacant house. He's the neighbor of the house that her and her dad just bought. The house has been open. It's an open
no
house.
one's lived there.
Like, and he's like, I knew the people who lived here before. I knew the people who lived here before that. Like, I've lived here my entire life. So when she was touring her new home, he was in her closet reading a book because he needed to seek solace from his 4 brothers. Okay. So that was cute because she has this internal dialogue. It's like, I could either make a friend or a foe right now, and I really fucking need a friend. Yeah. And so that entire conversation led up to like, obviously, this book wouldn't have happened without that conversation.
For sure.
But it was very, very cute, that little meetup spot, I think.
Yeah. And then that closet in general is...
It builds in that closet.
Her dad makes it a library. He, like, tears it out and just put bookshelves in this closet. And I loved that because when I was little, in my room, I had a bigger-ish closet. It wasn't like a walk-in or anything, but I had a little baby bookshelf that was, like, not even a foot wide that I had in my closet, and I would put like blankets and one of those like armchair pillows on the ground, and I would sit in my closet and read. Like that's where I would read growing up.
There is something like otherworldly about like hiding away in your closet, and then when you get to invite your friend into the fold and they're also like interested in doing the same things that you're doing, like that was a very cute detail. A little bit different than what we've seen in like Every Summer After and The Summer I Turned Pretty, where it's just like instant infatuation. Yeah. This was like a true like friendship first, and they had like actual common ground to build upon.
Reading.
Yeah.
I did love that.
Yeah.
I do think as a whole, Carly Fortune's writing was a little better.
Okay.
But like you said, there were great lines in this.
Yeah.
I also felt like there was a lot of cheesy lines as well. But that may have been my bias because I was like, I've read this book, I've
read this plot,
Yeah.
But this book and Every Summer After also had that weird conversation when they're 14 years old and they're talking about masturbating with each other. And I was like, are we even like taking conversation lines? Like, because Sam asked her, Persephone, right?
Yeah.
Sam asked Persephone, like,
have you started your period?
Have you started your period yet? Yeah. And they, in this book, are talking about, like, masturbating and, like, how that works. And I'm like, 14-year-olds, I, at 14, did not talk to boys about
period was
any of this.
Like, we did not speak of that.
No.
I don't think even, like, maybe mid-high school even, like.
Yeah.
Period was something you did not speak of for some reason.
No,
it's such a shame thing.
A 14-year-old who gets her first period without, I mean, she's lost her mom 3 years prior to this, you know?
Yeah.
So she's at this house with her dad and her boy best friend, and she's like unveiling.
Doesn't he like bring her a warm water bottle or something? Because he does that for his mom.
Because he does that for his mom. No, and he's perfect. He's perfect. He knows exactly what to say.
I like him better than Sam.
You know what? I think I like Elliot better than Sam, too.
Because Elliot doesn't... does a... Okay.
I was about to say.
I don't want to say nothing wrong.
Coming out of your mouth. Go ahead.
I don't want to say nothing wrong, but he does less wrong than Sam.
There we go.
I think.
Yeah. That's fair. But this whole book... You're waiting to fucking figure out what it is.
Yeah.
And the Carly Fortune one, my heart was shattered when I figured out what it was. And then in this one, it was like the emotion was taken out of it because it was almost the exact same fucking thing.
I think this one was strange in the sense that... So what happens is it's New Year's? Mm-hmm. Or no.
Yeah, it's New Year's.
It's New Year's, yeah. So she is back at her home, whatever, with her dad at some grown-up party. He calls her. Mm-hmm. Elliot calls her. He's at a party at a friend's who... Bad influence friend, and he also has a really close girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure she knows she's at this party, but whatever. Elliot calls her and was like, I love you, which I think was the first time that was said. So he says it over the phone while drunk when they're not together. And I think he's like, we need to be married.
Yeah, he was like, will you marry me? And she's like, hey, I'm going to come to you because this isn't a conversation I want to have over the phone.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, do you love me too? And she literally is like, I'm not going to say that for the first time over the phone. Like, I'm going to do that in person. And
so she goes. She talks her dad into letting her take the car because I think she's 18 at this point, 17 or 18. You know, they're older teenagers now. So she takes the car. She goes over to the friend's house. She goes in there, is looking for him. And the friend's like, oh, I think he's upstairs. And then another friend's like, dude, stop. And so you're instantly just like, oh.
Yeah. No. You know exactly what it is.
So she walks into one of the rooms. He's lying in there with a naked girl on top of him.
Yep.
And so she leaves crying, obviously, and then, devastated.
Yeah.
And she goes to her little cabin house, which, they still live there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they still own it.
Yeah, that's right. So she goes to the cabin house and just lays on the floor and just cries and forgets to call her dad.
That's the big fucking point right there.
Forgets to call her dad because he said, you can go, but you need to tell me you made it.
Yeah.
Because it's a 2-hour probably, if not more, drive. And he's like, you need to tell me when you get there. You need to, you need to keep me updated. Well, she does not do that.
Yeah.
And so he drives to go get her, and she's obviously devastated on the floor. Oh, the dad, when he picked her up, he's like, and she told him what happens. He's like, I did not see that coming. I did not see that from him.
Yeah.
I really thought he was a good dude. I did not expect that. I don't know why that hurt me, but it did. When the dad was like, man, I did not see that from him.
Yeah.
And so
This next point is what actually surprised me.
For sure. This was the only, not only, but this was the most shocking thing of the entire book.
This was,
They're leaving. She following? No. He just drove her. They said, fuck the other car, I guess. We'll get it another time. So, because she's unwell. So they're driving. Well, they get in a car accident because some guy is driving, I think, recklessly.
Yeah, he's driving under the influence.
Okay. They get in a wreck, and her father dies.
Instantaneously.
Instantly dies. And she does not, obviously. She survives. And that was an awful, awful scene to read of her trying to run to her dad. Because, Jesus Christ.
And the police officer holding her back.
The police running and grabbing her.
No, that one was bad. That one was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's we know something went wrong with them. Something went wrong with them. Something went wrong and they stopped talking. And Ellie doesn't know why.
Yeah.
She knows why she stopped talking, blah, blah, blah. They know, but they don't know. But we know the dad's also passed away at this point.
Yeah, in the present day, we do know he has passed away at this time.
No context as to when that happened.
Yeah, how or anything.
Nothing.
We just know he's passed. And he was like, oh my, I didn't know.
Yeah,
thought I would have known that.
And she was like, I thought you would have heard about it by now. And we're like, what? What do you mean? How would he have heard about it? Bro, no, that was crazy.
Because then after that, no one ever comes back to the house, you know, once, but to get her shit out, but she made sure to do it under the.
So she goes fucking no contact. No contact.
Yeah.
Yeah. No contact.
Never talks to him again.
Never talks to him again. And sorry. It would be really hard to differentiate your father's fucking death.
Yeah.
Because he went to come get you because you were so distraught by what your boyfriend did. You can't fucking call your dad and let him know where you are.
She definitely blamed Elliot for what happened, which I would too.
Logical, yeah.
It's not logical, but in that emotional state, that is logical. These are the steps that led to this. If you would not have done what you did, I would have called my dad.
Yeah.
He would have never came and got me. We would have never left when we did.
I would have never been on the road at that point in time. Yeah.
And my dad would not have died. Which, that's a fucking lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it does kind of make sense why she never reached out again.
But also similarly to, when Sam forgave Persephone, right? Before she even has this conversation with Elliot about, this is why I never called you, she tells Elliot, yeah, I'm in. Let's start over. Let's start fresh. And then the conversation happens after. It's this big, beautiful, bubbly moment, where they're like, yeah, let's make this work. And they're at his brother's wedding.
Hated that.
And then they go off into the woods. Fuck.
Hated that.
And then they talk about this depressing ass thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm like,
what are we doing?
I feel like this series of events should have happened in a different way. Definitely a different way. Because she's half naked in a fucking twigs coming out of her fucking dress. And she's like, yeah, my dad died because he came to get me because I was so distraught after you fucked another girl. Like, what? No.
And then Elliot's side of the story is...
Oh, my God. Yeah. I don't believe... Yeah, okay, go ahead.
You don't.
Listen.
I don't know.
Listen. Elliot says... Because he called her. He's drunk as off his fucking rocker. He calls her, like we said, I love you, I want to marry you, blah, blah, blah. He goes upstairs, sleeps it off, has a woman body on top of him, and just assumes it's her. Just assumes it's his girlfriend. So then
she said, I'm coming.
Yeah, because she said she was going to come. Okay, so listen.
I'm just saying.
If my man fucked another woman and then said, oh, I thought it was you, and be like, you can't fucking tell when it's me on top of you? What do you mean? Sorry, you can't tell it's my lips.
So did you, when you read that, did any alarm bells go off of me texting you and accidentally ruining that?
Yeah.
Did you were like, oh shit?
No, yeah. Because she had texted me about another completely separate thing, right?
That's what I told you.
Wait.
I read this book a long time ago, and I know of another friend who finished it. So I was texting her. But you're
so fucking right.
Yeah, I was texting her about the book for a while, but I was also texting Caitlin about something else. So when I read that happening, and I was like, oh my God. And so I went to text my friend, but I accidentally texted Caitlin because we were having a conversation at the same time as I was texting this friend.
Yeah.
I was talking about that book the whole time. And you were like, oh my God, I thought you were talking about Love in Other Words. And then I was like, oh, I'm talking to Anna about something that we both watched or read.
No, because you only sent me 3 words.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's safe to say it without triggers.
Oh, yeah. I was trying not to lie, but also not confirm what you were saying. I was like, oh yeah, I was talking to Anna about something. So sorry, I didn't mean to send that to you.
And I totally believed you.
I knew you would.
Because she used a word that it's a trigger for me. So like, Emma... trigger word, Elliot is what you said or something.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, is this her telling me not to read it? Because I wouldn't read it if that was like actually like an actual. I mean, actually, now that I'm looking at it in that context, you're right.
Because what I said was, Emma pretty much raped Elliot.
Yeah,
is what I said. Mm-hmm. And that's how I view it.
Actually.
That's how I view it.
I just I think I took on like a defensive, like how the fuck would you not know?
Which isn't false, but
I mean, I guess he was drunk off his fucking rocker.
Yes. And it's still, I don't know. I still view it as that.
That's fair. That's
and it's so brushed
fair.
off.
No.
It's not talked about in the book.
No,
like, that is
it's like 3 pages where he's explaining himself and then she's like, oh. And then they move about their merry way. And I'm like, what do you mean? This was like 11 years no contact and you're going to have one conversation about it and be good?
And also they're so calm about what, not calm, but like, you know, I don't know. Well, I guess, does he even know that it was that girl?
He said he found out days later.
Okay, I was like, wait, does he even know that happened now that I'm thinking about it?
He said he found out days later. He thought she had left.
Done it and left.
And then he thought that something would happen and that's why she wasn't talking to him. So for days, he says, he thought that it was her, his actual girlfriend, and didn't know that it was this other girl. And then he found out and then it all made sense or whatever. But, I mean, they text and they email, right? So, like... this idea of like, I called you 1,000 times. Send me, she said she didn't check her email, but also you could have texted me and been like, not give me a second to explain. Just fucking explain it. Like, just explain it.
Oh my God, I didn't even know.
Like, Christian literally just told me that it was Emma and not you. How I didn't fucking know. Like, something.
Yeah.
Like, this
I still don't think she would have cared in her few, like.
No. But.
Because at that point, either way, no matter what he said, your actions led to my father's death is all that she would have thought, and she would not have given an absolute dog shit ass what he had to say. Like, what you did, my father died. Your fault, my father died. I don't care, my father's dead.
Yeah, she saw them laying in bed together, passed out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, that's not
I'm
a good
glad
look.
you didn't realize that I ruined that.
No, I actually didn't. Because when you said that it wasn't that, I was like, okay.
I was like, oh, I'm talking to Anna about something we've both read.
I think you even said, like, a different book title or something.
I don't know.
But, no. And I, like, looked.
And after you responded.
I, like, looked and I was like, this girl's name's Macy.
Perfect. Great. You're like, oh, must not be that.
This girl's name's Macy.
Not that. Yeah.
It can't be this
Yeah,
far.
I texted my friend Anna right after, and I was like, oh my God, I just accidentally sent this to Caitlin. And she's like, what the fuck? And I sent her my way of like covering up, and she was like, nice.
No, because I fully believed it. I
was
moved
like,
on.
honestly, she's going to read it so far removed from this message, she's not going to remember I even sent that.
Yeah. No, I was going to bring up the text message while talking, but I was going to bring it up and ask you what you were talking about.
You're like, wow, that plot line is so similar.
And like, actually, like, what show were you watching that had Elliot as the main character at the same time? Because now I know.
It was the book.
No, it was the book.
I
wow,
was like,
I'm dumb.
I was like,
I am dumb.
I felt like a dick. I was
dumb.
like, shit. I just ruined the whole fucking point of this goddamn book. And she hadn't even started it.
You can delete messages.
I didn't realize I sent it to her until she responded.
And I said, I don't think that was supposed to go to me.
She was like, oh, damn, ... or something. And I was like, fuck me. I sent that to the wrong person.
Yeah, I remember
I didn't
looking
realize
at
until
it.
it was gone.
No,
It was
I remember
red.
looking at it and knowing that this guy's name was Elliot.
You said that. You're like, isn't that guy's name Elliot?
Yeah, and I thought that you were trying to give me like a warning, like a, hey, like some shit goes down. But like that word is never explicitly stated.
Never. And it's
the
not, the
experience
scene isn't seen.
Yeah.
It's not. So I was like, no, you're good to read it.
Yeah,
Because I still
I'm good to
believed
read
you
it.
were good to read it.
Yeah, because you would have told me.
Yeah, if it was
Yeah,
a
you'd have been
fucking
like, all right, we gotta
graphic scene,
scratch that shit,
If it was
girl.
a graphic scene, I would have
Yeah,
been like,
yeah,
yeah, don't. But I was like, I think it's still good enough for her to read. So I was like, oh, no, you're good, read it. And
Yeah.
so you were like, oh, bet I'm in the clear. She's talking about something else.
No,
We're good to go.
I fully believed you. I was like, oh, okay, bet. Moved on with my life. But
I
you're
was
so right.
beating myself up for a minute there about that.
I bet.
I was like, what I do? Right? What am I doing? I hate when that happens to me. Like,
Yeah, and you are pretty good about not giving spoilers.
yeah. It's a whole that was literally the whole point of the book. Like, why'd they break up? Like, I pretty much told you why way before.
Yeah, but I mean, I knew it was coming because it was so copy paste.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, someone cheats. You know, someone fucks up, they fuck somebody else, and then no contact. Predictable.
But I do
this-
hate how they brushed over what happened.
the spicy little dad death in there. Ugh,
Yeah,
that
that-
was a blow.
Yeah,
That one
was
got
rough.
me
Me too.
because I really
Me too.
did not see that. Heartbreak. No.
I don't know what I wanted from that. Like I said, I feel like it was just brushed over that happened to him. Like that traumatic experience. Like that's a
I mean, if we're trying to get a little into it, if it was flipped, it would have been a big deal.
exactly.
Yeah.
If
No,
it
you're
was
right.
flipped.
If she had fucked someone else thinking that it was her man.
No, if he slept with that girl thinking it was his girlfriend, there
Yeah.
she was drunk laying in bed, and if
Oh, I
Elliot
heard you.
stumbled into Emma drunk thinking it was Macy, and things happened, and Emma was like, "Oh fuck, I thought that was my boyfriend."
Yeah, it would have been a thing.
He would have been in jail.
Yeah.
Maybe not in jail, but shit would have gone down.
Sorry, Joe. I just hit the mic.
But it was the opposite, and nothing happens. Nothing's even said. It's not even
and
brought up
his
as like,
friends,
what the fuck?
Garbage.
Fuck that dude.
Garbage friends.
Yeah,
For
they're like, oh yeah,
real.
Macy, he's up in this room down the right. Just
Yeah,
have
I know.
But that one friend was like, stop.
Yeah, but even that one friend, and that one friend did say, like, no, Elliot wouldn't do this. And it was kind of like, what do you mean? They're naked in bed together. What do you mean Elliot wouldn't do this? Like, the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, I'm seeing it with my eyeballs.
Literally, she's talked about his limp dick being out.
Oh shit, you're right.
Like, his pants were down at his fucking knees. She is naked next to
Had
him.
they slept
and
together?
He's got
They
a
had,
limp
right?
dick out. Yes.
Okay, so
but
that's-
she had never seen it like that.
Okay, damn.
But no, that being
Like-
that being a part of the book, I remember thinking, God bless. Like, we really need to talk.
Why
about
is that the descriptor? Yeah.
Yeah, because that's all I'm gonna remember from the scene. Damn.
So I guess that's one difference than Every Summer After, because they never slept together
Oh.
in their youth.
Oh yes.
Because I thought they did, and you corrected me on that. So these people had slept together at this point.
One time, I think, before this. It was like once.
But I do think that makes the betrayal all the more worse in Every Summer After that fucking Persephone slept with Charlie. Mm-hmm. Crazy.
Crazy.
But yeah. So in present day, when they're kind of still getting to know each other, Elliot and Macy, there's one line. She asks him, was it always your plan to move back here? And he said, it was always my plan to live wherever you were. That plan failed, but I figured my odds to seeing you again were pretty good back in Berkeley.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh. That's such a... Me. Oh. Oh. Just a...
I know.
Interesting.
Like, oh.
And he's
what do you say to that?
He's so funny. Actually, throughout the whole thing, he's like, yeah, I broke up with my girlfriend last night after seeing you. And she's like, I'm engaged. And he's like, all right. I still
fine.
love you. And we were like, bro, chill out. And he's like, nah, come over for Thanksgiving.
Right after the O, he says, you knew that. You had to have known that I'd be here waiting.
Stop it.
What does that remind you of? The Summer I Turned Pretty season 2 at the end on the beach. I thought you know. I thought you knew.
Why would I know? Bro, that scene.
That was my I thought you knew.
I thought you knew. No! No! I'm gonna Conrad girl cry again.
Yeah, that was my Conrad, I thought you knew.
Oh my god, I love Conrad so much. It hurts my heart.
So Elliot or Conrad?
Stop it.
Or Sam?
Conrad.
Conrad over everyone.
I love him so
That's
much.
crazy.
I love Conrad. He's just a sad little boy. I love him.
So she invites them all. She's like, okay, this is my friend. She goes out to dinner with him. She tells her fiance, like, hey, this is like a really good friend of mine back in the day. I think she might have even told him, like, we dated. I'm going to dinner with him. And he's like, okay, cool, bet. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Crazy. They have dinner or whatever. She comes home. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
Then she has like a little picnic. Because she, during her residency, she only has like, they fucking work their little asses off, to be honest. Like, the residents in my hospital, they work 6 12-hour shifts a week. Like, they have 1 day off a week. And I'm sure they are in a coma for those 24 hours.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. So this girl, like most residents, has very little time to do anything fun. And so she has 1 day off. It's a nice day. I'm assuming it might be a weekend. She goes to the park with her college best friend's husband, their kid. She brings her fiance, and then she invites Elliot. And I think another group of friends. Maybe even
Yeah, like, I think
childhood friends.
one is they from high school. Yeah.
Because Elliot knew who they were.
Danny was one of the names.
Don't know the name.
Yeah.
So she invites all this ragtag ass group to this picnic, and I was like, that's a fucking choice
I know.
right there. Oh, and her fucking child. Like, she technically has a kid too at this point. Kind of. Not a child, but it's her fiance's kid.
Oh, yeah.
Comes to this picnic too.
Yeah.
I would never want to be there. That sounds like my goddamn nightmare.
Yeah, no, that's
Like,
crazy.
holy shit.
Yeah.
But whatever. And it was fine. It was like kind of weird, but it was fine. Like, it went fine.
Yeah.
But I think even her like best friend was like,
Girl, I ain't never seen you this happy.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, what are
She
you
was like,
doing?
"You
And
have
she's
not been
never
living."
been a fan of the fiance
Yeah.
situation. Not that she doesn't like him, but she's like, that's not your dude. What are you doing? It's too fast. Like, he's fine, but he's not.
Yeah. She's like, I've never tried to talk you out of him, but I am trying to talk you out of marrying him.
Yeah.
Which I was
exactly.
like, yeah.
And so I don't exactly know. I think the fiance the fiance too also has a weird turbulent past. So he has this kid, the kid's mom, they were married, I'm assuming, and she became a drug addict. Mm-hmm. And so she's not in the picture anymore. Mm-hmm. So they just don't talk anymore. And so I think him, similar to Macy, is like, okay, here's a partner that will do.
Here's a safe.
Here's a safe partner that
It won't
hurt
break
me,
my heart all over again.
and they'll do. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not. And so he realized, I think once he met Elliot, he kind of realized like, oh, that's Macy's, whatever the fuck his wife's name was. Like,
Ashley. Yeah.
Sure.
That's your Ashley.
her, like, love of the life, blah, blah, blah. So they have this interesting conversation.
Interesting is a very good word.
Interesting conversation.
Yeah.
I can't even.
It was like
He was
what
so
you would
calm.
imagine the perfect way to break someone's heart without breaking their heart. It's like the perfect conversation, but it's so removed from emotion and so removed from what reality would actually be that it's kind of like, okay, that worked perfectly, but that's not.
He was very calm about the situation, just kind of like, I can see you have feelings for that guy, unresolved or whatever, but you need to pick. This is the moment. where it's time to decide
Yeah.
where you want to be with him or you want to be with me. Like, this is the crossroads kind of situation. And he says in that conversation about his whatever, Ashley, I never got to fall out of love. I just had to move on.
Yeah.
And so I think he is still so fucked up from that. This is just like nothing to him.
Yeah.
Like, it genuinely made me feel like this relationship was nothing to him.
Yeah, and it was to her too. And
For sure.
she like, whether she acknowledged it before or after seeing Elliot again for the first time, like, she knew she was complacent. Like, this is easy. This is good. And she even said that. And he was like, wouldn't Elliot be the easy one? You know? Like, yeah, it was a weird conversation because it's like exactly how you would want it to go if you were in that position.
Yeah.
But
No one was, I don't want to say no one was hurt because I'm sure that kid was. But, you know, it was just a very calm time to decide situation.
Yeah, it was-
and I think this was after her and I think his name was Sean
yeah.
broke up. She was like, okay, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but, you know, obviously you're not the one. So they kind of split, but I think she's still living there. No, she gets an apartment, right? So it's Thanksgiving now. And Elliot was like, you know, you invited me to your weird ass picnic. Let me invite you to my weird ass fucking Thanksgiving.
Yeah, why do they do this?
Why do they do this?
No, why do
Why
they
do they do
this?
this? It was his ex-girlfriend that he broke up with immediately after seeing Macy is invited to this Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And Macy and one of his good friends. I think that was
So
literally
it's just the four of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Rachel's like, the whole time.
Oh, Rachel was testy.
She was so testy.
She's a
She lasted
bitch.
all of 5 minutes before storming out.
Which I wouldn't go.
Yeah.
Because I think Elliot knew Rachel from like college, right?
Yeah.
So she saw Elliot when he was fucking down bad. Bad.
Gym.
Down bad. And she watched all throughout. Somehow they began to be in a relationship. But I think even she knew the whole time, like,
I'm not
I'm
Macy.
just here.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't have Macy.
Oh.
And I'm sure her seeing Macy and seeing them interact was fucking awful. Like genuinely, I don't understand why she would even go. Why did you even go? Like, I understand you don't have family or anyone to have Thanksgiving with, but
Get Chinese food, babe.
why would you even go?
Get Chinese food.
Just sit on your fucking couch and watch Netflix and cry. I don't care.
It's just another
But
day.
why would you do that to yourself?
For the plot.
Honestly, Chinese food on Thanksgiving is the best.
That's what we do.
Yeah, that's me and Bailey's thing.
We've done it for years. I don't like turkey. It's weird. It's nasty.
I don't. Turkey's not my favorite.
I like ham.
Usually, like any family thing ends up not being on Thanksgiving, so everybody has to plan around stuff. So Chinese food it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's what it...
And
No.
then the woman was crazy. Not crazy, but she was like just telling Macy how
No, she was like, you should have seen how fucked up he was because of you. And
Literally.
Macy's like, because of me? What do you mean?
Yeah, what a dumb bitch. She was kind of dumb.
You don't think
For
no
being
contact
well,
would
never
hurt
mind.
somebody?
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about?
What the fuck? You fucked him up too, bitch. Like, what do you mean?
And
Yeah.
I think the friend even, I think he literally like went to the bathroom at one point, right?
No, he was like, oh?
I gotta go. This is too much. I think
No,
that
I think she said he sprinted down the bathroom.
he's like,
That would be me. I'd be like, ew, boop, boop, boop,
Yeah.
boop, boop.
Or I would have just sat in it. I would have sat in the awkward.
No, actually, you wouldn't even be looking though. You would just be
listening.
Yeah.
eyes down.
But yeah, Rachel swiftly leaves.
Yeah.
And then I think even Macy was like, I'm gonna go. But he was like, no, stay. Did she? I think she did. I don't actually remember.
I remember her looking over at the friend, and the friend's like, he's never been well with this stuff. Just go try to help. And then she's instantly like kind of caressing his back, like trying to be soothing. And all this time, he still thinks she's with Sean.
Oh yeah, she never told him.
She never told him because she wanted to have space to breathe or whatever. But he's
To think
also
about it.
still like, I love you and we'll do anything for you. And she's like, nice to know. Like, we're just gonna brush over that. No, so she's like all lovey-dovey, and he's like looking at her kind of crazy. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, whatever. And then they just like fall into this like comfortable companionship. It was, I feel like, weird.
Yeah, a lot of these.
That would have been a good. I
weird.
actually can't remember when she told him that her and Sean broke up. If it was Thanksgiving or if it was shortly after.
I don't remember.
I can't remember. But
because I think at the wedding, everyone knew.
Yeah, everyone knew at the wedding.
So I don't remember when he invited her, but he was like, hey, one of my brothers, I don't know which one, is getting married.
Yeah.
Will you be my date? Or will you come to the wedding? So, whatever. She says yes.
Yeah.
So weird.
She's like, oh, we're not going to be together, but yeah, I'll be your date to your brother's wedding, who I've known.
I'd be pissed as the bride and groom.
They were happy.
+1. Why are you bringing the +1? This is like... I'd be upset.
You're like, look, we didn't budget for a +1.
Yeah, exactly.
She does not have a plate.
No +1.
Bring a sandwich, please.
God. He probably did mark a +1.
I'm
he probably
joking.
marked
Rachel as his fucking +1, and then he was like, swap.
That's crazy.
But everyone was excited to see
Yeah.
her again.
I'm
And it was
joking.
weird.
I'm just joking.
The reunion was cute, and it was like seeing
yeah,
the
and then
family
Alex, like
and
so
the baby.
Yeah, Alex was a baby whenever Macy met her, and now Alex is a full-grown, like 15-year-old.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm so excited to meet you, or I guess re-meet you, because I've heard about you all my life. And I'm like, stop it right now.
Yeah, that one was a lot.
Stop it right now. They love her so much. They
Yeah,
all
I
missed
mean,
her. They all miss her
course.
so much.
I'm sure they all thought her and Elliot are going to get married at fucking 19.
Yeah,
Because they probably would have.
they probably would have. That's crazy.
And so, I mean, I feel like with all breakups, you don't just lose that person.
yeah.
You lose their whole family. And he has a giant ass family that she also grew up with. And she didn't have a mom. Like, that was her fucking mom, kind of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she lost her mom, her dad, her other mom, and her other dad, pretty much.
And her family, her built-in family.
Yeah. And all
Yeah.
the brothers.
Crazy.
She has no siblings.
Nope.
So she lost all his siblings, the baby, She lost all that. And so,
Yeah.
they lost her too. And I don't know. It was sad. It was cute. The little reunion.
The
hospital.
reunion-
What the fuck? The wedding reunion.
Their wedding reunion was really cute. It just all seemed a little too simple, like too tied up in a bow. I don't know. I just I think I saw everything. Like, what's the opposite of rose-colored glasses? That's how I saw this book, which really sucked. But is that Daisy snoring?
Yeah. Your face. Bitch is out.
I wish I could move the camera to get her.
Oh my gosh! I wish y'all could hear this dog snoring on the couch right now. Like, she is going hard. This is amazing, actually. Okay. At first, I thought it was Joe's tummy, and I'm like, "Damn, Joe!" And then I realized it was Daisy, and I was like, "Oh, okay." But I still was a little shocked.
Oh my God. I don't remember what the fuck we were talking about. This wedding.
Yeah.
They go through the ceremony. It's wonderful. I'm sure he looks fine as fuck in his suit. I think she says something about it.
Mm-hmm. That's when she's like, "Yes."
Yeah.
She's like,
Actually, yeah, I'm gonna make this work right now. This is it.
Yeah.
Whatever, they're at the what's it called? Reception.
Yeah.
They are she's like, I'm ready. Let's go right now. And they yeet off into the woods.
He said, "Right now, I go."
And I could not fucking believe that.
I was like, "Oh!"
Like, you're probably the best man.
No, and everyone knew what was happening when he grabbed her hand and walked out of that ballroom. Like, they knew. They said, that's crazy. A little bit more subtlety, please. And then she comes back after everything. She got twigs in her hair.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? She's distraught. His heart is broken, and she got twigs in her hair.
Why was his heart broken?
Because she wouldn't, reciprocate feelings, verbally.
Oh.
And he's like, "I waited for you, but I guess I shouldn't have." And then...
they got into a fight, huh?
Fucking stomped away. Yeah. She's, counting to 10, trying to breathe. She looks up. He gone. What?
Oh, yeah. Rude.
Unrealistic.
So how'd they get back together? On this
Good
book
question.
you read yesterday.
Good question. She goes home.
Yeah.
To her home she hasn't been
Berkeley.
to in 11 years. The cabin home.
The cabin?
She goes to the cabin. It's the first time she's been.
Oh, yeah, and he goes.
And he follows her.
She goes to the cabin. She opens the closet and gets one of her dad's shirts, right?
Yeah, and it still smells like him. And she's like a hysterical mess. And then she feels...
Because he doesn't know how the dad died yet.
He doesn't know how the dad died.
That's right. She didn't tell him that at the wedding.
No. Nope.
I think she just told him, like, I saw you naked and all that. And then freaked out, left. Yeah, that's right. And when he went to the cabin, that's when she tells him the dad died. How the dad died. Yeah. And I'm sure he felt like a...
He vomited.
Yeah. I would fucking too.
Yeah, he was
That's
like...
awful.
I need a second. Yeah. And then they just decide to be happily ever after. And I'm like... Okay, cool. There's like 3 pages left in this book. I'm like, what? Like, this is really all that we're getting? I don't know. It just like...
Yeah, I do agree. Like, this book... me left something to be desired. I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't know what I wanted
and I don't
out
know
of
if it's because I already read it.
Twice.
Not its fault.
Not its fault. I know.
But
I'm like
I did.
A little judgy towards my favorite book now.
I know, right? I was wondering how you'd feel after that when I told you the years.
No, the years made a big difference.
Did you think this was before this?
I think I knew it was before, but I thought maybe it was like closer.
Similar.
Yeah, like they came out in the same publication year. They're different publishers, so like somebody didn't catch it type shit. Because it is also like every summer after grown up. I mean,
yeah,
the summer I turned pretty.
They go back and forth, like
in time, just like every summer after.
So it like had a chapter of them as kids.
Yep, chapter and present, chapter. Yeah,
Bam.
it's exact.
Some litigation,
right? I feel like the only thing that was different was in this there wasn't like his brother.
No, yeah, there wasn't another love interest. There wasn't another love potential on her side.
It was her side, but it was him because it was his friend, that girl
who they had like romantic history with.
Yeah, I think
very minimal.
Very,
but for a 14-year-old girl up to 17-year-old girl who only sees him on weekends, like and
the girl you see at school every day, and are still friends with that she had met prior to this.
Yeah, and Emma was even like, "Oh, I've never heard of you before," and Elliot's like, "Yeah, you fucking have."
Can you imagine, bro? That bitch.
No.
How fucking cruel. Oh, who the fuck? Never heard that name before.
It's like, oh, he has never talked about you. Oh.
You know what would have been savage if Macy would have been like, you know who I am.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm like, I highly doubt that, baby cakes. Like, I know who I am and you do too. Like, chill out.
Yeah. So that girl was fucking devious from the start.
She was petty.
Which makes what happened, I think, even worse. Like, I do think it was very deliberate and slightly illegal.
Yeah, very deliberate and slightly illegal. I think that's a very good way to put it, actually.
I don't know how drunk this girl was,
technically very illegal.
I know, but I don't know how drunk this girl was, and I know there's probably some gray lines when they're both drunk. I don't know, and he obviously didn't say no.
No, he was he was an active participant, but he was an unknowing active participant.
You can't have consent if you're drunk.
Yeah.
But, so, yeah.
Look, I'm just
it's
saying,
so great, and I hate everything about it.
If it was flipped. If it was a female,
I 100% agree.
100% agree.
Yeah.
I think because he didn't make a big deal out of it, as a reader, you didn't make a big deal out of it.
I
mean, but you know what I mean? But, like, it's not like fucking, I don't know. Because, like, I don't know.
It didn't define, like, his...
Yeah.
Which also makes it weird because then it's like, well, is this actually a true story? Because if that happened to me, I'd be real upset. Like,
yeah.
It would be like something...
Also, I don't know if Elliot just didn't... Well,
maybe he did go to therapy and we don't know this. It has been 11 years.
I know. But, like, once I found out that happened and I am now realizing, like, that wasn't the girlfriend I thought I slept with, I would, like, go to her home, go to her house. But I don't think she was living there. So I don't even think he would have.
No.
Maybe he didn't even know where she lived when she wasn't at the cabin, for one. And then two... her uncle. She ended up living with her uncle after because her dad died immediately. So, like, I do think there was genuinely no fucking way for him to find her.
Yeah. No, he probably did try.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And he moved to Berkeley.
Yeah, he tried
to find her.
That's how he.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Can you imagine being
a
the
random
girlfriend that
Tuesday
also
morning.
went with him to move to Berkeley?
Yeah, that's
knowing
crazy.
I'm moving to Berkeley with my boyfriend so he can find his ex-girlfriend.
That's crazy.
Like, you know, he wouldn't have said that, but that
like,
bitch be knowing.
That bitch be knowing.
At least his girlfriend at the time was not that girl.
Yeah.
Because that, I would have been impressed if he then started dating that girl.
Wait, no.
The girl who,
Emma?
yeah.
They never dated after that, though.
I know, but I'm saying Rachel. I'm saying if the girlfriend in present day ended up being Emma, I would have been pissed.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, unforgivable.
Yeah.
Unforgivable.
She would have been like, not giving him the time of day.
You're like, oh, so it was an accident, but y'all are together?
Yeah. Oh. Interesting.
Coincidence. No.
As Sabrina Carpenter would say, what a coincidence.
What a coincidence. You know, I was thinking of, I was listening to Taylor Swift, Avi, throughout my day.
Yeah.
And New Year's Day came on, and I was like, that is this book's Taylor Swift song, New Year's Day. Like, because the line is like, please don't ever become a stranger whose laugh I could recognize anywhere. Are you kidding? Are you kidding?
Yeah.
And it all happened on New Year's Day, too.
Does it have interesting questions? It did happen on New Year's Day.
Oh, listen.
But while you're looking up questions,
Yeah.
the Goodreads on this, you know what the Goodreads rating is? 4.25. Yeah. That has got to be one of the highest.
The reading order matters.
100%.
Reading order matters.
Because I would not give this a 4.
No. Even
Ever.
I wouldn't. And like...
Maybe I don't want to say ever. Because if I read it before, Every Summer After, maybe. Because of that end. And I gave it a 3 only because of the dad thing. Like, that surprised and shocked me and made me cry. And I gave it a 3. This book made me cry and I gave it a 3. Like, that's how much the similarities were really dragging down this book.
Okay, so do you think if you had read this book first that it would be it would be like the opposite?
I mean, probably. Because
so
everyone I know
hard
who
for
loves
me.
this book fucking hates Every Summer After. Fucking hates it.
Well, I love Every Summer After,
Yeah.
but I'm like mid. With
Very
this
mid
book.
on that one.
And I don't...
And I'm sure it's the reading order, but once again, even reading
But
that...
did Every Summer After do it better?
In my opinion, but do we think that because we read it first?
I don't know. I think they did it better.
I mean, that is also what I think, but we can't say that
Because we don't
unbiased.
fucking know.
We can't be unbiased.
I think there's like
Joe? No, I'm just kidding.
lack of
I need you to read this book
conversation.
and then read that book.
Yeah.
Also, we forgot to have you read the first chapter. Fuck
This
us.
would have been a good one for me
Yeah,
to read.
fuck.
Huh?
Remember the last time we said we wanted him to read like the first chapter of the book and then try to guess the end?
Damn it!
I know, I'm so upset. You had all day, bro.
I didn't know you had the book.
Come on. That's
Damn.
an excuse. It's right there.
What was I gonna say?
I'm so sorry, but that just
Oh no, I do think Carly Fortune did it better.
I do too. I think the writing was more sophisticated.
Yeah.
And
that's what I was saying. This book lacked conversations that needed to happen, and that book had all the conversations that needed to happen.
Yeah.
Like maybe too many times actually.
You're like, it's too much.
It's too much actually.
Wait, what did you rate this?
3.
I did too. Okay.
Yeah, this is a 3-star for me. And I can't, it's so hard to not look at it through the lens of Every Summer After.
I know. Obvi.
But I loved Every Summer After.
I know. You can't guess the first line.
Or the last.
Spoiler alert.
It's a spoiler for the next episode, folks. One of the questions is discuss Macy's career choice.
Fucking stupid as fuck. That's
Do you
it.
think
End
her
of
decision
discussion.
to care for sick children is a result of losing her parents so young, or of losing the love of her life? So
Neither. What's up?
like one of the things that the mom talked
Every
about.
Summer After score is 4.20. In other words, 4.25 on Goodreads.
That's crazy.
That's still fairly fucking close. I thought it would be vastly different. Anyway, I don't know. I don't think either of those, to be honest.
Well, maybe the love of her life one, because her friend who has the kid Like, she mentions that while talking to her, like, about her job, she's like, how could you do that? Like, how could you work with sick kids all the time? And I think it's because Macy's like, well, I'm never going to have kids. So she's like, I lost my opportunity to have kids because I don't have the love of my life. So,
That's an
like,
interesting way to
I'm
think
able
about
to
it.
separate differently than, like, maybe a mother in this position would. So maybe that does have a little bit to do
Yeah.
with it.
I didn't think of it like that. Like, I won't be having kids.
Yeah.
I didn't think of it like that. I like that. What's another one?
All of these are like,
She was willing to accept a stepkid. I'm confused by that.
I mean, probably because in that same sense, she was like, well, I didn't think I was going to have a kid. So,
And-
I guess I'm just going to.
also the stepkid was really independent from
Yeah.
her. Like, she had said that she tried to, like, kind of fulfill
She
this
was, like,
motherly
older.
role. And the kid was just like, no, I'm content with dad. You know, like, I'm chilling over here with dad.
Because isn't the dad older?
He's got, like, gray hair and everything. Like,
Like, this kid was not a baby by any means. This kid could get itself up, dress itself, feed itself. Not like a teen, but like an older school child.
yeah, I don't really like the way that these questions are phrased.
That's okay.
But it talks about, like, the structure of the novel, like, going back and forth and, like, understanding the impact of Macy and Elliot, like, when they were young. And, like, does that change your opinion of her? Like, are you more sympathetic to Macy's decision to, like, have no contact because you know, like, the way that the book unfolded or whatever? But I think that's pretty obvious. Like, you're going to have more sympathy towards her when you're reading about her 17-year-old brain. You're reading through a 17-year-old's
That's true.
lens, and you're
Gravity
heartbroken
moment.
and then devastated, like, right after another. Like, you're going to be sympathetic towards Macy.
Yes.
Also, I do wish that we would have gone, this would have been a good double POV book, but not with back and forth. Like, having Elliot's side of the story too, but that would have been really hard to do with different timelines.
You know, it would have been crazy is if it was written kind of like you said, double POV, and we're in his point of view first of, like, Macy came to the party. I was in bed sleeping. Macy came to the party. We had sex. We fell asleep. It was great. And then boom, we go to her point of view of her walking in. Like, that would have been crazy.
Literally, it would have been crazy. Yeah. No, I think having Elliot's point of view through a lot of this would have been beneficial as a reader.
Also, he didn't know. I'm calling bullshit on that.
What?
He didn't know it wasn't her. I've been pretty drunk in my life.
And you would still be able to tell if it was your woman on top of you.
I could tell immediately.
Yeah. That's what I think too. Like, I would be I would not have taken it as well as her, because I would have been offended and been like, you don't know my lips, you don't know my hips, you don't know my waist. Like, what do you mean? Like, you don't know this isn't my body? Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. No. Actually, I was about to give him a little benefit of the doubt.
You're like,
No, I don't really like any of these questions. Oh, this one's pretty good. They're talking about the closet and how he's like, no, I need you. At the very, very end, they're in the closet again. This closet that kind of started everything. And he's like, I think you should sell the house. And she's like, no, like, I can't. And he's like, we need to move outside of the closet.
yeah.
He was like, I think you're afraid of leaving the closet because this is where it's safe. And it's when we
their safe
experimented with the outside, like,
World.
outside
That's
world.
true. We brought our relationship outside of this closet,
And that's when it
ruined
fell.
it.
And he's like, I need you to take it out of the closet. And I was like, yeah, that's a very intelligent way to
For
be
sure.
like, it's time to cut ties with this house
past, yeah.
because it's just too much. And you're going to be scared forever. You're
Yeah.
never going to want to leave. Yeah. I think that was a good question.
And I think they
actually.
ended up selling both of her houses.
Yeah. Good for her.
That would be hard. I don't know if I could sell.
It says,
My
do you agree
childhood
with
home.
Elliot that you can't go backwards and that the key to happiness is moving forward?
No.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think I could.
I think the events that you have made you who you are now. So just like forgetting those doesn't actually forget anything. It's just like,
Yeah, no, that
That's
closet
kind of
is still
dumb.
special.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't need to be completely out of your life in order for you to move on past it. The Berkeley house, though, she definitely needed to get rid of her childhood
I don't know
home.
about that. That was, I don't know. I don't know about that one. Like, she never went in it.
Yeah.
Which is strange, too. But, like, you know, I get not wanting to sell that. That was the last place and the only place-ish that you had memories with your mom.
Yeah.
And I think she said something in that house smelled like some fancy cigarettes her dad would smoke. And, you know, like, I don't know. Like, I haven't lost a parent, luckily, so I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't experienced loss in this way either, so it's hard for me. I don't know, like, I think I've never had, like, physical attachments to, like, places. You know, like, I can leave at home and, like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Because it's not the home that made it or made me. It's the things that happen inside of it, and that's not going to change. So for me, like, yeah, I could sell everything and start over, and I'd be cool. Like,
I wonder
be
if that's
good.
because, I mean, you didn't live in one singular place your whole
didn't.
childhood. Like,
Yeah.
I did. I had to move out of my childhood home when I was 18, and I was fucking mad.
Yeah.
I was upset. I was mad at my mom. I was, you know, like, that was the only place I'd ever lived, and I was 18. And, like, even now, like, I've been back to it. Like, I've been inside of it
Actually,
since.
so, like, I have one house that's done that for me, and I did have to leave it. It wasn't a choice that my family made. It was like, we have to relocate type thing. And I did have attachment to that house in a different way. And it was the first place that, like, I fell in love or whatever.
Yeah.
It was the first heartbreak that I had, like, in that house. But I still didn't have emotional attachment to the house. I think it was the people around the house that I had the attachment with, because we had neighborhood friends. This is where Annika met Emily. That's, like, where the entire family was. So that, I think, maybe I can resonate with that a little bit. But it's not like surface level for me. Like, that's, like, deep down in there. Maybe I should explore that.
Me and my friend Ben had a discussion because I helped
Your
to move-
friend, Ben.
Well, I guess your
I'm
friend,
so offended by that statement.
Okay.
I introduced your bitch ass to Ben.
Okay, whatever.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Whatever. We had a discussion about homes in general because I helped to move something in his childhood home.
Oh, yeah.
And we had a discussion about, like, it's weird for, like, you can just feel when a family's home is, like, their home. Like, you immediately walk in and you just know. And that was kind of like his house for me. Like, walking in, I was like, oh, this is where Ben grew up. And, like, all the, like, they had stories about random stuff. And I'm like, I never feel that in a home.
Yeah.
Because, like, I didn't live in the same home.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
And
moved
so
a few times.
Yeah. So it is interesting when somebody does live in the same home for their whole life.
And, like, at least, you know, in Ben, he still gets to go back because his parents still live in that home. And I think that's crazy.
I would love
and
that
unique.
for my kids, but, like, I don't know. I wouldn't say I necessarily feel like a sense of loss by not having that, if that makes sense. I don't know. That's interesting. So maybe you're right.
And I think so I've lost a house. The only thing that I've had, like, a physical attachment to, like, a person I've lost is my grandma passed away. My salsa.
Your salsa.
My salsa.
The salsa happened pre-Caitlin friendship, but I've
you knew
heard
about it.
I know of the salsa.
So my grandma would always make the salsa. She canned me a bunch before she passed away. I don't think, you know, we didn't know she was going to pass away. She just lived 6 hours away, so she just made me a shit ton once, and I, like, took it home with me. And I'd gone through, you know, X amount. I don't know if I'd gone through almost all of it by the time she died, or if I just genuinely had the one left after she died. I may have had a couple. She died, I ate some, but I saved one singular jar. And one of the houses we were in, I don't know what happened, but I bumped into it and it fell and it shattered. And bitch, I was unfucking well. I was never gonna eat this fucking salsa.
Yeah.
But it was gone to poor Joe. Because I was a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucking...
My knee.
My knee did that.
But, so I mean, I guess in that way, like, I kind of get it. Like, I would still have that fucking jar of salsa if I didn't break it. I don't know where it would be.
Yeah.
And I don't know what, but I would have that jar of salsa.
Yeah.
Until I died.
So maybe he shouldn't have had her sell the house.
Both of them. Like,
Both of
one.
them. I think
maybe
he
one makes
encouraged her
sense.
to I think he encouraged her to sell one of them and gave his opinion about the other one. And right now I'm not remembering which one's which, but he did make a big deal about like, no, like we need to experience life outside of this. Like you need to step away from this. But
Which I think they could have done without getting rid of the fucking whole house completely.
yeah, they're both
I don't know
pretty
how
well
one
off.
can physically sustain owning 2 homes like that unless you didn't pay for anything at all in them.
I mean, if you own all of it, like no mortgage, you're just paying property tax.
So I'm saying I don't know how the mortgage situation worked.
No, I think they were
but-
both paid off.
Okay. So
Yeah.
she's not paying
She
a whole lot.
owned both of them.
I knew she owned them. I'm just saying I didn't know how much financial burden they were on her.
I know
Because
she
then she
cleaned.
also
Yeah.
had a fucking apartment. So like,
Yeah.
the fuck?
And she wasn't even living at her apartment. She was living at Sean's. So she has 3 different locations this bitch
That
could
she
live.
ain't ever going in.
She never going in. She living on
Residents
Sean's
don't
bed.
make shit
Yeah,
off
I
her
was
money.
about
What
to
are we
say,
doing here?
She's just a resident. She's making not that much money. How's
Maybe
she?
$60,000 a year. There's no way you're paying for 3 homes right now. But she must. The other 2 must have been just like fully paid off or something.
Yeah. I mean, it's her
And then a cheap-ass
childhood
apartment.
home, and her dad was probably smart enough to leave her like shit ton of money.
Something, that's true. Who
Yeah.
knows? I don't know what he did, but do you know what he did?
What did he do?
I don't know.
I think
actually.
it was told to us.
Maybe.
I don't remember. Well, he got weekends off. We know that much.
Yeah. What?
What did he do?
I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
See, but I know what Persephone's parents did.
Exactly. They were professors.
They were both professors.
Because they had the whole summer off.
They had the whole summer.
Not just weekends.
Yeah.
That's kind of the difference.
Yeah.
There.
I did like the little, I know we're dragging this one on. I'm so sorry. I did like the little detail that because they knew that she knew that she was going to die. The mom knew she was going to die. So she wrote a list for the dad. She was like, number 1, blankety. Number 2, blankety. And then there's like different things. And her dad and Macy kind of used that as like their framework of life.
Yeah.
And the reason why they bought the house was because mom had left number of like 23 or something. She was like, when Macy is so tired that she can't even form a sentence, get her away. Take her somewhere, have a weekend. And the first time that happened, he was like, we're
I'm
buying
buying
a
a
house. Let's go. And he took everything she said so literally.
Yeah.
But it was exactly what Macy needed because her mom still had influence. Like her mom was still there because she was influencing like what her dad would do in those situations. And I think that was a very beautiful touch.
And actually, I think you remember the period thing?
Yeah.
I think her mom had written her a letter.
Yeah, she was
And the
like,
dad gave
my
it to
period
her.
fucking sucked too.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
I think her
okay.
mom wrote her letters like, you know, when this happened, when this
Oh my
happens,
God,
when
yeah.
this happens.
It was
And so the
beautiful.
dad gave her that letter for when she started her period kind of thing.
There was a very
Which I think
beautiful
that's
part.
why Macy was, you know,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, yes.
She was starting her period, so that does not fucking help the tears flowing out of her eyes.
Yeah.
But she's, you know, actively reading a letter her mom wrote her. Mom's now dead. And then that is when
Elliot came
comes
through.
in and she's crying and he's like, you know, what's wrong? Are you okay? And then he like gives her the warm bottle for her period and all that. But that's why she was emotionally fucked up.
Yeah, there was a beautiful like paragraph in that letter where she was like, my period is what made my body ready to create you, and you are the best thing that I've ever done. And it was just like, yeah, it was just, yeah, the little details where they were able to sew like her mom into their active lives, like that, those were really nice. Overall, 3 stars.
Yeah, it was good.
It was good.
Like we've said a million times, if we read it first, maybe we'd like it. But not saying I didn't like it.
Yeah,
Maybe we'd like it more.
yeah. Any final thoughts?
Not on the book, but next time we are going to be doing a fun little video where I quiz Caitlin's ass. As you've probably heard previous, and you know, in the midst of this, we've already done it, and I did a little spoiler for you. But I took every single book we've covered, which is 16 of them, and I got the first line, and I read the first lines to Caitlin she had no idea, and she had to guess which book they were.
Yeah, it was very fun. Very excited
And
for.
Joe also competed, even though.
And I won.
Yeah. So if you want to
See you next time, folks.
If you guys want to see how Joe pulled that out of his ass, please watch our next video. 2 weeks. Joe did not win, but he had some points on the board.
I'm
You had
cutting that
some
out.
skin in the game.
I'm cutting that out.
You have too much power now.
Yeah, the fuck.
All right. Thank you so much for being here, for watching, listening, and following us on Instagram at Our Book Boyfriends Podcast. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.